I have actually 3 children, but only 2 in my study group, who have switched back to male, or in their words, they were male all along. They are so clearly hardwired, if you will, male, that it's very impressive. They're very male, and they knew they were male from a remarkably young age. In fact, their stories are almost identical to John.
Doesn't that tell you that sex reassignment of an obvious male child is not a good idea, that the maleness will remain?
It makes me worry.
We've now managed to connect hundreds of intersex people in North America and throughout the world.
Cheryl Chase is the president of the organization.
This is experimental, drastic intervention that is going to affect somebody's entire life in an incredibly profound way, and it's been applied almost universally in industrialized countries for close to something like 40 years, and there's been no follow-up. And the best information we have about outcomes, I think, comes from adults who are now beginning to speak out. And when doctors are confronted with this, they say, well, we are positive that all of our other patients who we have never heard from and we haven't followed are fine now. But they can't produce one.
Can you point to a similar case where the person grew up to be a perfectly successful, happy, normal female?
No, there must be quite a few such cases around with the kind of history that one could look at, but they're all kept very secret, and we have no idea what the outcome is.
Isn't that a problem in doing this kind of radical therapy? There's no real evidence.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Let me ask you this. John Jones is now saying that he grew up miserable. He didn't like being a female. He didn't feel like a female. How does that make you feel as an expert in the field?
Badly. Everybody who really deals with a large variety of intersex people has seen quite a few who are miserable. No matter what we do, there will be some that will be very miserable. Unfortunately, that cannot be a basis for decision-making, because we don't know, for instance, if John Jones had been left John at the outset, how miserable he would be with the aftermath of the penile accident as a male. We simply don't know that.
What we do know from talking to intersex adults is that a huge number of people have experienced the treatment as punishment and is horribly damaging.
Would you like one of our leaflets? Chase has tried to drag the man behind sex assignment into an open debate.
I've written to John Money a couple of times to ask him to talk about this with us.
What has been the response?
He sent me back a photocopy of my letter with a note scribbled on the corner that said he was too busy to address the issue.
And how did you interpret that?
I think he's afraid to face up to the fact that he might have been wrong.
These days, John Money works here in the basement of this off-campus building in Baltimore. We wanted to talk to Money about his theories. Hello.
Yes.
We're with a Canadian television program called The Fifth Estate. We'd like to see Dr. Money.
Okay, hold on a second.
We had contacted John Money by phone and also written to him in hopes of getting an interview. But...
You don't have an appointment, I'm sorry.